Farm for Profit Podcast. Take a listen, have a blast. Farm for Profit Podcast. Learn about farming while having a laugh. Farm for Profit Podcast.
All right, it's time to chat an update from Brandt. We got Kyle Bennett here joining us today to give us a little bit about what's been working for them this year. Welcome to the podcast, Kyle.
Yeah, thanks. Appreciate it, Tanner. Glad to be on and appreciate the opportunity.
So where are you coming into from today?
Yeah, so I'm in Lawson, Missouri, just outside of Kansas City here at the home office.
That's cool. And how long you been with Brandt?
About 7 years now. So May's coming up on 7 years. So it's been a good run with them so far.
Have you been doing the same thing for Brandt that you have since you joined the team?
No, I haven't. I started out as a territory manager, managing Missouri and Kansas, and then that morphed into Missouri, Kansas, and Oklahoma with a bunch of different product lines through our distribution networks, and then I've been doing the current role for about a year now. So.
Awesome. So in your area, what are the most popular Brandt products that your customers are interested in?
Yeah, so where I'm at, the augers and the field belts are kind of our bread and butter, kind of the staple of what we manufacture and the largest movers for say on that stuff.
Yeah, I can tell. I got firsthand experience with one of your Brandt augers, and I can't remember the model number right now, but I think it's 110 foot.
Yeah.
And there's been millions of bushels put through that auger, and she still runs just as good as, well, I shouldn't say just as good, but it's holding up really well.
They've done great over the years. Brandt really prides themselves on their quality and being a premium product. The good thing is augers eventually wear out, so but we try to make them last as long as we can, and they've done really well for us. It's amazing the growth that we've had over the years. So.
Yeah, that's kind of neat. So we were down in Houston for Commodity Classic this year and got to have a little bit of fun. We had some donuts at your booth, and unfortunately it didn't look like your booth was large enough to have this equipment on display. So now it'll be exciting to talk to our listeners about what you guys have to offer this year. So let's start first with how I originally got connected to Brandt, and that was through your grain carts. So what kind of news you got coming out of that sector?
Yeah, so in the last 2 to 3 years, we've totally revamped our grain cart line. So we had two older models that we were building for, started probably 15 years ago, and 2 to 3 years ago we decided it was time to do a complete revamp and change some stuff and try to get on the cutting edge of grain carts. And we came out with a new XT, which is our corner auger cart, which you're familiar with. You guys got to play around with this past fall, and then the recent one would be our DXT, which is our dual auger grain cart, which just released last year and really ramped up production on those this year. So
I think that'd be kind of fun to play around with. Might have to reach back out to you guys, see if we can get a DXT to compare this fall and see how things run. But my first connection was as a part of the advisory team that was called upon to give some feedback. I don't get to run the combine very often in the family operations that I'm a part of, so I end up spending a lot of hours in the grain cart, either that or the semi. So it was neat that you cared about our opinion.
Yeah, absolutely. That's a huge part of the process when we went to redesign these carts. We have these customer advocacy groups like you were a part of, and we really wanted to dig in to what the customer wanted to see in a grain cart. Like if you were to design one from the ground up, what would you have? What would you keep? What would you get rid of? And ultimately at the end of it, the XT, grain cart that we have is what that customer advocacy group was asking for. So it's been really cool to kind of see that from the thoughts to the design to the conception of this cart. So.
Well, even last year, like I said, when we got to run it, mainly Corey and his family on their farm, but we even had a couple of tips to send back as well that went back into consideration for little things to improve. I still can't believe how far forward that auger reaches.
It's way out there. So it's all about, you've ran the grain cart a lot. It's all about operator comfort and longer hours in the tractor, and we try to make it as easy to unload and use as possible. And key to that is getting that auger out in front where you can see it. So.
Now, have you ever had anybody hit the cab of the tractor with one of those augers?
We haven't. I think you'd run into the hitch first. But when we started prototyping these grain carts, we took some down to Arkansas and rice country, and we had a 1300 size hooked up to a quad track, and we tried to hit it. We were cutting it real sharp and stuff, and we never got in contact with it. So it looks like it, could happen, but luckily it's not. Not saying it would never, but it's far enough away it shouldn't. So.
No, I think that's really key and something that's going to set you guys apart from everybody else in the industry. It's one of those that, it was pre-COVID when I got to sit on that committee and provide my opinion, and that's all it was, right? It was an opinion, and I'm looking forward to getting that invite back again to come see them put together, assembled. Since COVID happened when that tour was supposed to get scheduled, kind of put the kibosh on that.
Yeah. Well, we're back in full force now and open to tours, so we'll definitely set that up with you guys. I'd love to have you over and check out the factory. It's over in Hudson, Illinois, and that's our dedicated grain cart facility. So we're just pumping grain carts out of there. So it'd be great to have you guys over.
It's been fun too, watching some of these fertilizer spreaders toting around your conveyor belts, or you call them field belts. And just seeing how easy, especially the self-contained ones, that they can unhook in the field. Most of the time, like I said, it's lime or fertilizer that I see, back underneath of it with their spreader, and away they go.
Yeah, those field belts have become so handy. It kind of started as how do we unload our bins more efficiently with a product that's going to last longer, and it morphed into this fully self-contained unit that drive around between bins. You got guys taking it to the field to do bulk fertilize, and it's been a great unit. That's probably one of our most recognizable units for sure, just because we've been building them for so long, and there's so many out there.
So remind our listeners where Brandt is headquartered and how Brandt started.
Yeah, so Brandt's headquartered in Regina, Saskatchewan. It's a family-owned company. The Simple family owns it. They started, manufacturing ag equipment back in the 40s. So from there, they've just grown their ag product line, and as well as a lot of other manufactured products that we do. And we also have a distribution side in Canada where we sell John Deere construction and ag equipment. So that's expanded into Australia and New Zealand as well. And then it's a company that's aggressive and continues to grow on both manufacturing and the distribution side. So,
and that's kind of a neat partnership that you have with John Deere, because here in the States, a lot of the Brandt equipment is seen at John Deere dealerships, right?
Right. So, with our product line, and Brandt being a dealer too, we really understand the dealer network and what the dealer struggles and goes through every day. And especially with John Deere, because we're right in there with them. So with that, paired that with, us being a premium product, it fits well with the Deere dealer network, and where that works, it's done really well. So, and we're not Deere exclusive. We do a lot with, Case, New Holland, short line dealers. So, we like to go to an area and pick, who we feel is the best fit to represent the product, and go after those guys. So
that's right. So if our listeners are curious and they want to look up more of your products, what's the best way for them to find it?
Yeah, so everything's online at brandt.ca, and then Brandt manufactured products on all the social media.
That's great. Well, this has been a great time to kind of catch up. It's like I said, it's been a long-term relationship. We appreciate the dedication Brandt has to Farm for Profit and to our listeners. So it's kind of neat to continue to share what you guys have going with them.
Yeah, absolutely. It's been a great partnership with you guys, and looking forward to some big plans this coming year for sure.
Yeah, I think it'll be a lot of fun. I got some kind of cool ideas up our sleeve to see if we can get some neat content put together. But Kyle, thanks again for hanging out with us today.
Yeah, thanks, Tanner. Appreciate it.